Now, there is absolutely no doubt about it that a lot of the Star Wars fandom really does prefer the Star Wars prequels and the originals way over the sequel trilogy by Disney and Lucasfilm, because of how inconsistent the movies were from Episode 7 ending with Episode 9. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one thing that a lot of fans really wanted to see for the longest time is Palpatine being done in a proper way. I know a lot of fans disagreed with how Palpatine was done in The Rise of Skywalker through the use of a clone body, with, of course, his spirit entering into that clone body. Like I say, they made it very confusing for the casual audience, the casual fans, if you will, that don't really know about the Star Wars lore or Legends content. In fact, Episode 9, the movie itself, did not even explain how Palpatine returned and came back to life. You had to rely on a book. And this is something that Disney tends to do time and time again. You want to learn more about this, you gotta read a book. And I feel that it should not be done that way. So, moving on beyond all of this, we do know that Jon Favreau is on a mission with Dave Filoni to really revive tons of Star Wars Legends material through the use of Star Wars TV shows and other projects out there such as books and novels. Now, what's really exciting about the TV shows is that it's going to be very expansive and pretty much ever evolving. It's going to allow them to do all of these different stories on beloved and longtime characters or brand new characters at that, such as Din Djarin, as we saw with Mando Season 1 and 2. What's really intriguing, though, is what Jon Favreau has up his sleeve, what kind of tricks he has to display on the table for the fandom in the next couple of years, and exactly what he has planned to really turn things around when it comes to the overall Star Wars franchise. So, what's really exciting and, capturing about this entire situation is that with both Disney and Lucasfilm now focused on their new universe with shows like Kenobi and Ahsoka, both Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are actively working on other projects that will reunite the Star Wars fandom in the near future. Now, with new shows set to be announced this fall, and at Celebration 2022 as well, Jon Favreau is working around the clock to make the universe successful as possible. Further, it's noted that recently Jon Favreau made a major decision for an untitled Star Wars TV series that is set to take place decades before the Phantom Menace era. It's best noted that this untitled series is set to focus on a live-action version of a young Palpatine, as well as the royal house of Palpatines, as well as the addition of Palpatine's father, Kasinga Palpatine, in the mix, that is set to showcase Darth Plagueis in the flesh for this new series. Now, it's noted that Jon Favreau has been in the talks with actor Willem Dafoe of Spider-Man and Aquaman to portray the new Palpatine known as Kasinga Palpatine, Palpatine's father. The series is set to focus on the House of Palpatine and will play a role in the politics of Star Wars like the prequels did, in a very different way that will serve as a backstory to Palpatine's downfall, well before the Phantom Menace storyline. Now, Willem Dafoe is said to be very excited to work on a Star Wars show after already diving into superhero projects such as Spider-Man and Aquaman, and that now Favreau is excited to add Willem Dafoe as the new Palpatine in the new untitled series that is set to be announced later this year in the fall. Favreau is said to have always been a fan of Dafoe's Goblin and feels he is the right choice to portray the menacing figure known as Kasinga. The show is set to focus on the Palpatine family and exactly what turned young Sheev to the dark side of the Force. So let me just say one thing right here. If you guys know Star Wars Legends, you will know that Palpatine's father was not a nice guy. In fact, he was a very evil figure. He is actually a person that wanted Palpatine dead even as a child. You can only imagine what was going through Sheev Palpatine's mind as a young adult as well. So, when we go ahead and examine what Jon Favreau has up his sleeve here, obviously introducing a new Palpatine is a great choice. Now, we saw a new Palpatine in addition with The Rise of Skywalker, very briefly in the forms of flashbacks. We don't have his name, but we did get a first look at the son of Palpatine, alright, the son of the Emperor. through the use of gene splicing and all those crazy scientific techniques that he was using on the world of Exegol. Now, in those flashbacks, alright, it was not really displayed on whether or not Palpatine's son was as powerful as the Emperor. But Kasinga Palpatine is a different story, because this is going to be focusing on the royal house of Palpatine, alright? In case you guys did not know, if you guys actually, know about the royal house of Palpatine, it's actually a head of state of the Galactic Empire at one point. The House of Palpatine was actually a noble family of the planet Naboo, though not as prominent or wealthy as other, of course, houses out there. It was this family that actually introduced Palpatine into the world, the Dark Lord of the Sith. Now, what I like about this is that Palpatine's home is actually situated in Naboo's Lake Country. We're going to be learning a little bit more about that in future books, and even in this untitled TV show. Now, this obviously, I think, is going to capture more fans that like the aspect of the dark side and everything around those lines. Now, this actual untitled TV show, quote-unquote, is actually geared towards being a thriller, if you will, a cat and mouse type of game where you have somebody pulling the strings in the background. Obviously, this is going to be Plagueis. Pretty much, it seems like that what Favreau wants to do is that he wants to give us his own take on Palpatine's childhood or young adulthood. Kind of similar to how Anakin Skywalker was treated by George Lucas in the prequels, giving us that version except with young Palpatine, showing us, of course, what his upbringing was like by Kasinga. Now, about Willem Dafoe, let me dive into Willem Dafoe here. This guy is amazing. He looks like a Palpatine, he sounds like a Palpatine, and most of all, he is a great actor. He can pull this off. I really do believe that he is the best person to portray Kasinga Palpatine. I think it's a great fit. He kind of has that little bit of resemblance there of what a Palpatine would look like, especially, Sheev's father. It just makes sense to me. We also know that Favreau and Willem Dafoe, they have crossed paths before in the past. Dafoe is a big fan of Favreau. Favreau is a big fan of Dafoe. So it just works. It really does work. And there's a lot of rumors out there right now suggesting that Dafoe, alright, potential spoilers here, is that Dafoe is going to be coming back in either Spider-Man 3 this year, or in Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness. So, Dafoe, I gotta say, he really has been working hard on Aquaman. He's been working hard, with other projects out there. I do suggest that you guys go ahead and check out The Lighthouse, by the way. Amazing work done by him. But overall, guys, I think that this is a great move by Favreau. This really is the best move that you can make right now when it comes to Disney Star Wars, introducing Palpatine back into the mix. We're also getting Luke as a 10-year-old in the Kenobi TV series, so a lot of our fan favorite characters are being done once again in different ways. So, like I've said before in the past, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. From night to moon, we hear them moans again.